Welcome to our training program for the globally harmonized system of chemical hazards, labels, and safety data sheets. The program you are about to begin was written by Dr. David M. Halton, who is a qualified teacher with more than 30 years' experience in chemical hazard communication, helping us understand the hazards of chemicals and how to work safely with them. The Globally Harmonized System, or GHS as it's called for short, is a way to communicate chemical hazard information, and it's been adopted all over the world. This means that wherever we go, symbols we see to denote chemical hazards are the same in Europe as they are in the Americas, Asia, Australasia, and Africa. It's a huge advance over chemical hazard communication systems we used in the past. And perhaps that's where we need to start our program, by looking at what we had in the past and understanding why we needed to harmonize globally. But first, let's look at the roadmap for the entire training program and see the ground we are going to cover. There are 10 sections to this program. Some last 15 minutes and some only last 5. And it's better to take the program 2 or 3 sections at a time rather than all at once. Here is what each section is going to be about. We begin with asking in Section 1, why do we actually need a chemical hazard information system at all? Then in Sections 2, 3, and 4, we're going to explain about the 3 different hazard groups used in the globally harmonized system. In Sections 5, 6, and 7, we are going to give examples of how we can prevent hazards from happening. In Sections 8, 9, and 10, we're going to see what GHS labels and safety data sheets look like and how to use them. Safety data sheets? That's what some countries used to call material safety data sheets, or MSDSs. The GHS just calls them safety data sheets, or SDSs. So let's start with a look at where this all began and ask ourselves, why is it that we need a hazard information and communication system at all? The answer quite simply is that while chemicals are used to benefit our lives in many ways, some of them are dangerous. And if we're going to use them, we need to know how to use them safely. Safe use is important for people in manufacturing industries, in transportation, for emergency responders such as firefighters and police, and last but certainly not least, for consumers who buy cleaners, glues, and paint thinners for use around the house. To work safely with a chemical product, we need to know 3 main things. What's in it? In other words, what are its ingredients? What are the hazards of those ingredients? What can we do to prevent the hazards from happening? Now, you'd think it would be fairly easy to get that information, but in the past it wasn't, and we'll find out why in Section 1. When we've finished Section 1, we'll be able to describe why managers and workers could not always get chemical hazard information. We will be able to explain why this was a problem for employers and industries using chemicals. We will be able to list the 3 main parts of the solution adopted in many countries. We will be able to list 3 reasons why we needed a globally harmonized system. We will be able to name the 3 main hazard groups in the GHS. Before hazard communication systems existed, workers and managers often had trouble finding information on chemical products and their hazards. Sometimes it was because the chemical was newly synthesized and little or no information existed, and sometimes the manufacturer did not wish to disclose the details because it was a trade secret. This meant that there was a gap in the information people needed to work safely. Now, this was a problem because employers have a legal obligation to ensure their staff work safely, but without the information on chemical hazards, they could not meet these legal requirements. It was a ridiculous situation to be in.